to have the work started due to the likely political ramifications during the next elections of 2026. As of February 2024, Uganda shillings 74.2 billion had been released, and the following achievements have been registered. 19.2 kilometers of roads in 6 municipal councils tarmacked. 4.1 kilometers are still under construction. And 18.5 kilometers of roads in 15 town councils have been tarmacked. 3.7 are still under construction. The details in Annex 9 to the document. Support services to Duka projects. 4.3.1 regional mechanical workshops. Right Honorable Speaker, my ministry operates 4 regional mechanical workshops. Definitely, these are few as compared to the size of the country and the demand. But these are in Kampala, Gulu, Bugembe, and Mbarara, whose main function is to extend maintenance support to districts and zonal road equipment, road units. These are the areas where you can borrow or where you can ask for heavy-duty equipment, like the excavators, the bulldozers. We know that these equipments are not at the district, but you can request for them from the regional mechanical workshop once you are ready to use them. The account, many people here have benefited. I think Madam Nabukenya is here, can testify. The count of district road equipment has incrementally expanded, beginning with road units obtained by some districts under various projects and grants in the 1990s, early 2000, to the 1,405 assorted road equipment from China in 2012, and finally, the 1,151 road equipment from Japan obtained in 2017. The new districts, the equipment, your first units have arrived, and we were due to hand them out on the 10th of May, but we understand that's a population day, census day, so we shall hand over these equipments on the 15th of May to the districts, the new districts. It's a wheel loader and a grader. That's the first lot. We need an additional 27 billion, and I hope that Parliament will appropriate that money this coming financial year so that we can get the rest of the equipment for you to have a full unit. Other than the grant from the government of Japan through JICA that facilitated the construction of Bugembe Regional Mechanical Workshops in 1997, no development funds have ever been made available since then for development and retooling of the regional mechanical workshops. The total requirement for retooling and refurbishing the regional mechanical workshops is estimated at 100 billion, which we hope can be realized through the debt financing or through project support from development partners. Discussions with the Minister of Finance on this matter is still ongoing. Right Honorable Speaker, from 2017 to 2018 to date, maintenance of road equipment from Japan was prioritized over other road equipment in the district, as no new funding was made available for maintenance of road equipment from China and the older equipment. The routine maintenance budget for road construction equipment reduced from 22 billion in 2019-20 to 11 billion in 2020-2021, partly due to disruptions caused by the COVID pandemic, but also notably due to rationalization of the ministry's budget in 2020-2021 to cater for special requirements and Operation Wealth Creation. Right Honorable Speaker, the routine maintenance budget was never restored, and yet the road equipment maintenance regime transitioned from preventive maintenance, which is the normal service, into corrective maintenance, which requires additional 23 billion. The current shortfall in road equipment maintenance funding, therefore, is about 23 billion. The resultant effect of this budget cuts was the reduction in the road equipment available from 95% in 2017 to the current level of 30%. Even I know that many of you are members of the road committee, and your engineers have been crying about serviceability of the road equipment, no tires, and when the brakes get worn out. This is because the maintenance budget has been cut. Whereas the ministry has been receiving its entire annual road equipment maintenance budget of 11.6 billion since 2021, this amount is insufficient to cater for both preventive and corrective maintenance requirements, and hence the persistent low equipment availability. Right Honourable Speaker, there are currently no works supervision vehicles in the districts and mobility equipment for vibro rollers. That's why most of the districts don't use them. They stay at the district headquarters because they can't move them to go and do the works. This leads to incomplete road works being done. They can't apply the maram and compress because the rollers, the vibro rollers cannot move. Additionally, the urban authorities, including cities themselves, do not have specialized equipment for road construction of the bituminous roads. This, we have already gone into discussion with the Minister of Finance on this matter. We did the needs assessment. We know the equipment required, and the specs have been already provided to the Minister of Finance. The total requirement for the requisite road equipment units for this purpose is $70 million, which we hope can be funded through debt financing using the same scheme which we used to get the 1,115 units in 2017. Right Honourable Speaker, my ministry is in the process of procuring road construction equipment for the new district. As I've said, those are already here, but we need another 29 billion for the vibro rollers, the tippers, and water bowsers. These were not included in the tranche of the money which you gave us last time. We shall continue engaging through my committee, both in the committees of budget and committee of infrastructure, and we engage Minister of Finance to avail the 29 billion so that we can complete the purchase. Zonal equipment centers, Right Honourable Speaker, the zonal equipment centers, I'm on 4.3.2, zonal equipment centers. Right Honourable Speaker, the zonal equipment centers are currently housed within the premises of the regional mechanical workshops. The ministry has planned to create 9 zonal centers. These are in Moroto, Mbale, Jinja, Gulu, Arua, Luwero, Hoima, Mbarara, Kabale, at an estimated cost of 45 billion. We shall continue engaging Minister of Finance in this endeavor. The zonal equipment centers operate the shared road equipment, such as the bulldozers, excavators, backhoe loaders, self-loading and low beds, while the shared equipment is insufficient to cater for requirements of the entire country. Their availability has been greatly reduced due to the insufficient maintenance funding, and thus the requirement for the additional money. Mechanical Engineering Training and Advisory Center, METRAC. Right Honourable Speaker, since 2017, when the ministry acquired the new equipment, the ministry has implemented several regional training sessions for district operators. While this training format was not sustainable, it was the only option given in the circumstances. In 2018, the government of Japan, through UNIDO, gave a grant of $2.3 million to the government of Uganda for construction of the Mechanical Engineering Training Center, or Advisory Center, abbreviated as METRAC, in Luwero. Phase 1 of the project, which comprised of a gatehouse, classroom block, maintenance block, administration block, these have been completed and the project has been handed over. It's just a few kilometers from Luwero town. Here we shall train and retrain operators so that we have, because the machine performance is as good, will be as good as the man behind the operation. If you have a bad operator, and in most cases what we have seen, people have drivers. These are drivers, not operators. In this center, we are going to train operators. And we are working with the Minister of Education so that they can also be tested under DIT and be given certificates of equivalent, so that they can be able to get employed outside in other markets. Right Honourable Speaker, phase 2 of the METRAC require 9.8 billion, which we began this financial year. So far, government has availed 1 billion for the construction of a few of the amenities. 4.3.4, Mount Elgon Labour-Based Training Center. Right Honourable Speaker, Mount Elgon Labour-Based Training Center, MELTEC, is a national training center under the Ministry of Works and Transport for applying labor-based technology in the rehabilitation and maintenance of national, district, urban, and community access roads. The training center is located 20 kilometers from Mbale City along the Mbale-Budadi Road, adjacent to Uganda Technical College, Elgon. Right Honourable Speaker, MELTEC provides training and capacity building in developing, maintaining, and utilizing critical road infrastructure assets in the district, urban and community access roads. Its contribution to the Duka network includes the following: training and capacity building of public and private sector personnel in the road subsector, dissemination of new innovative ways and bridge construction technologies and best practices in construction to improve value for money, consistency of applied standards and sustainability of infrastructure assets, integration of cross-cutting issues, gender, environment, social issues, and 4, socio-economic inclusion is achieved through public infrastructure projects on roads and bridges, employing local vulnerable communities using labor. The training center has trained more than 426 public and private sector personnel in the fundamentals of road and bridge technology and completed more than 5 bridges and 15 kilometers of model road training projects since 2022. We are now doing a test of cobblestone. We are trying to apply to do that cobblestone in the areas of the Elgon to see how it will perform. The stones are shaped very well and then laid, and they have proved to be very resilient to weather. We saw these, I think many of you, those who have been to Rome, you have seen on those Roman roads. This was a technology used way back in those years, but the roads are still firm. Right Honourable Speaker, since 2020-2021, the Centre has received 17.2 billion under recurrent budget and 10.2 billion under development of critical infrastructure model projects. For the Centre to conduct its mandate effectively, it needs a budget of 15 billion annually. Challenges. The key challenges experienced with the management of Duka network include the following: limited budget for rehabilitation of Duka Road network. My ministry will need an additional 406 billion per year, up from the current allocation of 167 billion per year, to effectively rehabilitate Duka Road network. This is even made worse now with the kind of rains we get and the effects on the Duka Road network. Lack of adequate equipment to enable effective execution of the force account works. More equipment is needed for the zonal centers, force accounts, municipal councils, new cities, and for the new districts. Those ones we have already sorted. Inadequate funding for road maintenance activities. Only about 40% of the maintenance needs are met by the Uganda Road Fund on the entire road network. Inadequate budget for the road equipment maintenance using the regional mechanical workshops. Currently, the annual budget is 11.6 instead of the 45 billion. Low capacity of local contractors who are required to implement Duka development interventions. And 6, absence of contingency funds to address emergencies, such as washed away roads and bridges during the rainy season. Procurement of standby culverts, gabions, and buried bridges that are required whenever roads, bridges, and swamp crossings are damaged by heavy floods. Right Honourable Speaker and members, you remember the last rains we had and the damage on our roads. Because of lack of a contingency, we have not addressed those damages. We are now getting another spate of, again, heavy rains. And I don't know where we're going to end with this one by the time it comes down. Right Honourable Speaker, I would like to assure you and the honourable members of Parliament that, 1, Despite the challenges faced in the implementation of the planned NDP3 projects, Government of Uganda is committed to completing the ongoing projects and investing in new projects in NDP4, just a few of them. As the economy recovers, number two, as the economy recovers from the setbacks of the COVID-19, government will continue to prioritize development and maintenance of the road network to support other government initiatives. In conclusion, Right Honourable Speaker, my ministry is committed to improve the roads network by ensuring timely and effective maintenance of public roads, construct the priority projects identified in the National Development Plan 3 to facilitate delivery of public services, economic activities, and ensure the highest returns on investment. I thank you, Right Honourable Speaker and members.
Thank you. Thank you so much, General. Thank
Additionally, Right Honourable Speaker, you directed me to bring onto the House and lay on table the progress on KJE, Kampala-Jinja expressway. I beg to lay that on table and to be uploaded on the iPads.
That's the expressway.
The Kampala-Jinja expressway.
The,
I beg to lay.
General, just give us a brief of it. Then after that, you also give us a brief on the other place we agreed that there is no road. Just from Kampala here, but that one there to Jinja.
Right Honourable Speaker, I came here last time and briefed Parliament.
Honourable members, listen to General. At the end of the day, General needs money from you, because he cannot work on those roads on his own. So if you don't listen to him and you see why you prioritize your money, then...
Right Honourable Speaker, I think for the purposes of today, let me just give you and members of Parliament just the timelines for the implementation. What is still holding on to what we need to complete is, of course, the payments which have been approved for the RAPs, for the PAPs, the project affected persons. Right now, we need a total of 236.7 billion. This has been approved by the Chief Government Valuer. We need that money to finalize the payment of the PAPs. The targeted dates for acquisition of the right-of-way are shown as below. Section 1, this road is in Section 1, Southern Bypass. We think by the end of December 2024, we shall have completed acquisition of that section. Section 2, Kampala-Namagunga, again, by December 2024, we should have completed. Section 3, Namagunga-Jinja, we expect to complete acquiring the right-of-way by December 2025. Construction will commence only after the entire right-of-way has been acquired, following the financial closure, when the developer will obtain approvals for funds from the lending banks. Members of Parliament, Honourable Speaker, members of Parliament, this is a PPP project. It's going to be done by the bid or the contractor who will qualify, he'll do the construction, he'll do the tolling for the number of years, which would be agreed with government, and then hand the project over to government when he recoups his money. This, we think, is another way in which we shall be able to develop the expressways without necessarily feeling the pain in the pockets of the government, other than doing the land acquisition. Indicative project timelines. The major milestone is issuance of the final request for proposal document, which is hinged on the finalization of the government liquidity support for the project. This will require engagement with the Minister of Finance. However, these are the timelines we have put out and which we have put to the Minister of Finance. Invitation of bids, these have been done. Final bid submission is expected to be by July 2024, because adverts are not only for local bidders, but also for international bidders. So we give them enough time to be able to respond. Signature of contract, we estimate that if everything moves according to plan, by December 2024, we should sign the contract. And the commencement of works should be by 2025.
Thank you.
Right Honourable Speaker, I beg to lay this document.
Thank you. Please lay.
Right Honourable Speaker, you asked me to answer on the issue of the bad no road, especially the section, because the section now from Kampala to Mukono is more or less movable. The traffic is too much, I know, but Chambogo is going to be addressed when we are doing the KJE. That's why we are not putting a lot of effort there, because the KJE starts from down, it will start from ShopRite down here through Spear, and then all those sections will be addressed during that construction. The bad section now on the road of Jinja to Kampala to Jinja is mainly from Mabira up to around Njeru. That's Njeru near Nile breweries. That's a nightmare. Right Honourable Speaker, as I've said, and you have said it rightly, if we don't get money to pay these contractors who are on these roads, we don't expect them to create miracles. 1 trillion in debt.
Honorable members, there is no money given. It is this house to give
Yes.
money. You will not expect General to get money from his farm and start working on the road.
Thank you.
Now
Rod.
that you know the road is bad,
Yes.
let's look at what is a priority road.
Thank you. I appreciate, Right Honourable Speaker. I'm sorry if I'm reading the lamentation, but this is the problem. And that's real, and we must address it, face it head on. Thank you very much, Right Honourable Speaker. I beg to submit.
Honorable members, we needed to get an update. The update that you needed to get has been given to you, and it comes back to us, as the members of Parliament, as we go into appropriation. Can I hear from?
Right Honourable Speaker, I want to agree with the Minister. We need to avail money. We have severally said, let's make money available for these our roads. And for me, it's not just, the upcountry ones, by extension, Kampala. I know that's under KCCA, but by extension under the Ministry of Works, because our roads are in such a messy state. We need to avail this money. We need to prioritize them. And then we can task the General here and his team to account, because that's important. Let's avail money to them and then squeeze them hard enough to account for this money. And finally, Right Honourable Speaker, now that we are talking about NDP3, just one general comment. You see, NDP3 ushered in certain reforms, one of which was the programmatic-based budgeting. And government told us that this is meant to enhance coordinated and efficacious ways of implementing government activities. There are several challenges, and I'll mention just two. Among those, by the way, some of these are also captured by the Auditor General's report, and I encourage colleagues to read these reports. One of those is we have yet to make amendments to the Public Finance Management Act, Public Finance Management Regulations, Treasury instructions, to align them to the program-based budgeting. Otherwise, we are operating amiss. Number two, resource allocation is still tethered to the sector-wide way. So we cannot be saying one thing and then doing another, and several other challenges that are listed. So if we have said the programmatic-based budgeting is the way to go, let's create the foundation for it. Otherwise, when you don't, we'll keep having back and forth situations. Thank you.
Government Chief Whip, the Minister of Justice comes after the President.
Shadow Minister, I'm not responsible for the injustice that is taken. But the procedural matter I want to raise, Right Honourable Speaker, there seem to be two conflicting decisions coming from the presiding officers. And also it might put this House in a very tricky situation when it comes to budgeting. The budgeting function is a preserve of the executive.
Yes.
They sit following their manifesto, whoever is in power has marketed to the country that they are going to do roads, and then they propose the budget. First, we appropriate. We look at the appropriateness of the budget. Now, what I'm getting here is when it said that this House can give money, it's very dangerous for members of Parliament. And we have to get clarification from today whether this House is close with powers to sit and say we are giving money, or it is the executive, so that we can then know exactly what our role is. So for the minister to come here and present, and his presentation, he runs away from the cardinal role of the executive of sitting wherever they sit, and they sit in cabinet every week, they go for retreats, and come here and tell us that now it is this House. I think we are carrying the burden that ordinarily we should not. And I have also seen, Madam Speaker, the presiding officers, your good officers, the Speaker, going outside Parliament and making promises that we are going to avail this money.
And indeed we shall.
That's what I want us to be clear, though. So from this moment, when it comes to proposing the budget here, Madam Speaker, in the past we have tried to move money, and your chair ruled and said you don't have that power. When we are appropriating here, that you cannot tamper with what the executive has brought. So let the House be guided. Let the House be guided, because when I want to propose during the appropriation, then I will base it on your ruling that you are going to give us.
Honorable members, the role of appropriation lies on Parliament. The executive makes a suggestion. When the proposals are brought in by executive, it is us who do the oversight role. We are the ones who represent the 48,000 people of Uganda. We are the ones who decide and say, this is a priority road and we must put money here. Even if they will bring, even if they put less, we shall say we shall add on it. This House does appropriation, and will do appropriation and make sure. You people, I want you to appreciate what the minister is going through. Leave alone minister. Yes, Bodo.
Right Honourable Speaker, the Appropriation Act is an act like every other act, which means it is twofold. Proposal is made by government, highlighting her priorities. When it appears before us, it is for scrutiny, because they present their priorities through ministerial policy statements. And they promise the country that these are our priorities. And they introduce the funded ones and those ones that are unfunded. We call for statements every other day on this floor of Parliament, so that the people of Uganda, through their representatives, are briefed on the day-to-day management of government affairs. That means it's not a single person's or a single arm's responsibility. That's the same as taxation. Therefore, Right Honourable Speaker, I want to dispel
Honourable members, listen.
The notion that budgeting is singularly an issue of cabinet.
It's not.
Cabinet proposes, they come and join us here in Parliament because they also vote in this August House,
and then we appropriate, and then it's confirmed into law to be put into act, to be put into action. That's why when we come back here, Right Honorable Speaker, we always talk about the Ministry of Finance altering our mandate and our priorities. Therefore, Right Honorable Speaker, I want this House to stand firm on its issue and support the Minister through a bipartisan approach. If he says there is a shortfall, we should be able to look for money elsewhere and advise them to reallocate that money to the road sector.
Honorable members, one fact is the formulation of the budget is by the executive. And when they do the formulation, they bring it to Parliament for approval. In the process of approval, we have always, not once, not twice, we've altered. We have altered. And let's not sit back and say we cannot do it. Once we have the will, we'll do it and have our roads worked on. It is our work to do, to make sure that this money is appropriated. Because if it was only on executive, honorable members, if it was only on executive, they would formulate, have it there, pass it there, and just tell us this is what belongs to you. We are not rubber stamps. And to show you that we are not rubber stamps, that's why you will find a whole General Katumba, yesterday, even agreed with you to say, let's go back and work on this bill. Meaning that we coexist, work together. It is not that they work on their own. But let me tell you, members, Tinka Propua,
Right Honorable Speaker, thank you very much for this opportunity, and my honorable colleagues. I want to thank Honorable Dur for raising this matter. This matter touches a constitution of the Republic of Uganda, Article 93, whereas there is a provision of the law of the Appropriation Act which tells honorable members of Parliament, you have the power. Your hands are tied behind by Article 93 of the Constitution. On the floor of this House, your predecessors have made a ruling to cite the late Honorable Oranya. He said that the function of budgeting belongs to the executive. In light of Article 93, we must accept that as we may participate in the budgeting process in the Appropriation Act, we must not remove this from, and he was referring to the President. I remember during the State of the Nation address, did you challenge him? On which forum? Right Honorable Speaker, the matter that I am raising is constitutional. I am praying that your ruling addresses your mind to Article 93.
Honorable Tinka, just a minute. First of all, when the budget comes, we never increase. We do not increase the budget. We work within what has been brought. If Parliament has been given 10 billion, we shall say, Parliament, we don't need 10 billion. We need 5. We take the two into what? Into another. When you look at Article 156, Appropriation Bill, the 93 you're talking about is where you're not supposed to increase. We have never increased. We only do reallocation. When you look at Article 156, Article 156 says, the head of expenditure contained in the estimates other than expenditure charged on the consolidated fund by this constitution or any other act of parliament shall be included in a bill of parliament to provide for issues from the consolidated fund for the sums for the purpose of specified in the bill. We do not increase. When the formulation is done by executive, for us we do the appropriation. The only within the sectors, the only problem we had originally was when some people were saying that the role of appropriation is not parliament. It still comes back to parliament. We are the ones to appropriate. Even this business of supplementary bills, if you wanted, why don't you spend them there? Why do you bring them here? It is our work. So if you're going to take money and put something, I will say no. That's why I was telling you that we are going to ring fence money for Kibwa. And we see what happens. No, it is not a response. We are not arguing here. That is the law. That is the law. Next item. Honorable Minister, we are going to make sure we prioritize your sector. The number of people who have died due to accidents are so many.
Item 3.2.
I told you today I have only 2 hours. I also have a family.
Item 3.2, statement by Minister on the relocation of Luzira group of prisons to pave way for development of an international conference center and 5-star hotel.
Honorable members, I will allow you to debate on that one. Honorable members, can I have order? Can I have order? Can I have order? Honorable members, as you are aware, petition. Honorable members, there has been a lot of speculation on the proposal to relocate Luzira prisons. Honorable members, now Goretti, if you're making a noise, you need to, Honorable Minister, may you first sit. If you're making a noise, you'll not get the information. If you're going to reject it, honorable members, there has been a lot of speculation on the proposal to relocate Luzira prisons. As a house of record, it is imperative that we rise above such speculation and listen for unofficial government position, so that we don't just speculate, We just don't read from papers. We need to get a clear position from government on what is happening. And the minister is going to present this pursuant to Rule 52(1) of the Rules of Procedure, and he will give us information as to whether the speculation is a reality. Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker and honorable members. Indeed, I can see the anxiety of members, and hopefully this statement will put to rest that anxiety. Right Honorable Speaker and members, at the 14th sitting of the third meeting of the third session of the 11th Parliament, held on Wednesday 28th February 2024, the Honorable Mbwateka Mwagafa, Member of Parliament of Igara West, Mushenyi District, raised a matter regarding a letter reportedly from the Minister of Internal Affairs that appeared in social media calling for a consultative meeting on the relocation of Luzira prison to create space for an investment opportunity to an external investor. Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues, I want to respond as follows. Right Honorable Speaker and members, Luzira prison group of prisons is the first prison set up in Uganda by the colonial government in the 1920s. By then, the population of Uganda was very low, estimated at 3,071,608 persons. This is according to the Colonial Annual Report number 1112 of December 1920. At that time, Luzira area was peri-urban with almost no developed infrastructure. The prison's infrastructure was the most developed, and the prisons suited to be in that location. The principal consideration at the time was security, as Luzira could only be accessed from one point. Right Honorable Speaker and members, over time, the prison's infrastructure became dilapidated, while the neighborhood continued to improve and modernize. A modern secondary school and hospital, Bishop Cyprian Chanjire, was set up on 20 acres of the prison land. Another 64 acres that was used by the prisons for crop and livestock farming became an industrial park with industries such as Quality Chemicals Limited, Police Sac Limited, U-Fresh, Nightply, and Masterwood, among others. High-rise private property have also sprung up in the immediate neighborhood of the prison. Types of prisons in Luzira. Right Honorable Speaker and members, prisons are classified according to the purpose they serve, either as reception centers, receive and hold suspects awaiting trial, or rehabilitation centers, those that receive convicts from the reception centers for rehabilitation and reform. Prisons are also categorized by the type of offenders they hold and the level of security required: maximum security, high security, medium and low security, and open prisons. Luzira group of prisons was established to absorb all these categories of prisons as indicated in the table that follows. And the table includes: 1, we have Uganda Prisons Upper. It's in the category of maximum security prison, and it's both a reception and rehabilitation center. 2, Uganda Prison Murchison Bay. It's high security prison, both reception and rehabilitation center. 3, Kampala Remand Prison, low security prison used as a reception center. And 4, Luzira Women Prison, a maximum security prison for female prisoners, used both as a reception and rehabilitation center.
General, I hope you're not going away. Okay, thank you.
Other facilities at Luzira, we have a prisons academy and training school, Murchison Bay Farm, Murchison Bay Hospital, regional headquarters, Murchison Bay Primary School, staff housing, staff hospital and clinic, 2 churches and 1 mosque, parade grounds, and a football pitch. Current prisoners and staff population at Luzira, prisoners population, Honorable Speaker and Honorable Members, as at 25th March, this report has been there since that time. Luzira prisons had a total of 8,790 prisoners, including 5,167 remands, 3,457 convicts, 107 condemned prisoners, and 59 civil debtors, as indicated in the table below. Upper had 105 condemns, 1,368 convicts, 1,746 remands, and the total 3,219. Murchison Bay had 1,398 convicts, 1,617 remands, 7 debtors, 3,022 total. Kampala R had 318 convicts, 1,490 remands, 40 debtors, 1,848 total. And Luzira women had 2 condemns, 347 convicts, 314 remands, 12 debtors, total 701. The totals are down in the last column. Staff population as at 2024 was 2,653 in Luzira barracks. The current state of the infrastructure at Luzira. Congestion. Luzira group of prisons was built in the 20s with a total prisoners holding capacity of 1,923 prisoners. Today, Luzira is holding 8,790 prisoners, thereby having an excess of 6,867 prisoners above its capacity, up to 4 times beyond the designed capacity. The details are shown in the table that follows. The disparity between the holding capacity and the numbers that are there. In Upper, we have 756 population that is there now, 3,219. Excess is 2,463. The number of times above capacity, 4.3%. Murchison Bay, 646. Population there, 3,022. Excess, 2,376. A number of times above capacity, 4.7. Kampala remand, 289. Holding capacity. Population, 1,848. Excess, 1,559. Capacity above holding capacity 6.4. Luzira women 232 holding capacity, population now 701, excess 469. The exceeding capacity is 3.4. The totals are down. The safety and security of prisons, besides limited capacity, the design of the prisons at Luzira did not at the time envisage the level of security required to keep the categories of inmates that we hold now in Luzira. The buildings have not been renovated in recent times, and the state of dilapidation is extremely high. The buildings have outlived their lifetime. Reasons for the proposed relocation. Honorable Speaker and members, the land occupied by Luzira is approximately 260 acres. Strategically located in Luzira, Nakawa Division, Kampala's capital city authority, and a prime urban area along the shore of Lake Victoria with excellent scenery. It sits next to the railroad line connecting Kampala to Lake Victoria, which is Kampala's only inland harbor at Port Bell. The principal consideration at the time was security, as Luzira could only be accessed from one point. However, currently, with the mentioned developments and constraints of space and implied high security risks, this can no longer justify its continued existence in the present location. Prisoners can be kept anywhere in Uganda, provided they have access to the courts of law, hospitals, and prisons visits by relatives. The transport network in and around Kampala metropolitan area has improved, and customized security vehicles can easily be acquired to secure prisoners in transit to access justice and other services. Cheaper land, if available, can be identified. Modern infrastructure would then be constructed to accommodate most of the major activities currently being handled at Luzira. This would not only solve the congestion problem, but would also offer better human conditions, rehabilitation, and friendly facilities. If a more suitable and conducive, cost-effective alternative were to be acquired, Luzira Prison's land, which is very prime, would be released and secured for investment. Modern investment on the current prison land would lead to job creation for Ugandans, foreign exchange earnings, increased tax base, and would foster economic growth and development. This in line with the country's policy framework of a poverty reduction strategy that emphasizes investment promotion. Uganda Prison Service is likely to benefit from such development other than continuously holding on to this constrained space with all the attendant constraints mentioned. The current prison's infrastructure is highly dilapidated and its continued use is insecure and a denial of the rights of prisoners to a decent living environment. Secondly, the design of the infrastructure can no longer handle the current type of prisoners that we hold. And thirdly, the design of infrastructure is not rehabilitation friendly and therefore can no longer support correction and modern penal policy. Therefore, it appeals to logic to plan for new infrastructure in a more suitable place and relieve Luzira for other viable economic investments. Even without the current proposal, just a moment, members, even without the current proposal by an investor to put up a hotel at Luzira in exchange for constructing a prison elsewhere, which sparked this debate, it would inevitably be necessary to plan for a suitable alternative to Luzira prisons. The question of what to do with Luzira land is a detail, provided due diligence is complied with. Towards this end, therefore, there are many options for consideration, including these ones below, and I would like to implore members to listen attentively. The options are the following. There are three mentioned here. One, no relocation. Renovate and expand the current Luzira facilities at a cost of approximately 400 billion to meet the requirements of a modern correctional institution and security needs of the changing profiles of offenders without relocation. B, relocate the prison at government cost, but retain the land and facilities at Luzira for the other prison non-custodial purposes. C, relocate Luzira group of prisons to another site to present an opportunity of acquiring better infrastructure that can enable the service to effectively carry out custody, rehabilitation, and reform of offenders. At the investors' run cost estimated at 934 billion. In conclusion, Right Honorable Speaker and members, Luzira prison land is very prime, can be released and secured for investment or for the other options indicated above. Modern investment on the current prison land would lead to job creation for Ugandan foreign exchange earnings, increase the tax base, and would foster economic growth. Uganda's prison service will benefit from such development. Alternatively, honorable members, retention and improvement of Luzira prisons in its current location or retention of the land for non-custodial purposes accompanied with relocation of the prison at government cost are also options, albeit with heavy cost implications. To improve the welfare of staff and prisons, a more spacious space be identified to construct modern prison infrastructure that supports security, safety, and rehabilitation of offenders and well-being of staff. In conclusion, Right Honorable Speaker and members, it is prudent for government to plan for the new and better infrastructure for the prison service in a more secure location and relieve Luzira land for either of the options mentioned above. Thank you for listening. That is the statement for
Thank you.
about the subject.
Honorable Minister, Before I allow members to speak, I just want to ask something on the available option to improve prisons conditions. Has this decision already been taken, or you're seeking for because there are some scenarios.
All these are at inception. There's no decision which has been
There's
taken.
no
and I want
decision.
to allay the fears of members.
Okay, okay. Asmani, Eric, Asuman, Eric, Jane, Loy. You people, let's not go into procedure.
Thank you so much, Madam Speaker. The petitioner was basing on allegations, and now the Honourable Minister has put it very clear that there was nothing of that nature or proposal to transfer the prison. So what are we discussing now?
Honorable.
Thank you very much, Honourable Speaker.
Honorable Enos. Have you become a hired gun?
Thank you very much, Right Honourable Speaker.
No. The minister.
Okay, Madam Speaker.
Listen.
Yes.
The minister has made his statement and he has given you options. It's no longer speculation. You get it, eh? So when you start you use the bullets well.
Right Honourable Speaker, I want to thank you for this opportunity.
I forgot one thing, Right Honourable Speaker and members. I think we need to arrange a visit so that you can make your own appreciation.
Pardon? You need to do what?
Organize a non-custodial visit.
But
Right Honourable Speaker.
Maybe you could also know. Maybe you could also know the investor. We had land here, Shimoni, Naguru, Zambia.
Right Honourable Speaker, I want to thank you.
Honorable members, Lubowa is going on. We are at window level. We are at window level. I am not telling you, we've been there. But this is a very serious matter. This is a very serious matter. Can we briefly?
Right Honourable Speaker, I want to thank you. And I want to thank the Minister for the report. Right Honourable Speaker, I am surprised that government is planning to expand prison facilities. I'm very surprised. That part of relocation is intended to create enough space for prisoners. At a time when a country is actually supposed to be planning for stability, law and order to minimize prisoners. On the contrary, we are planning for expansion. Right Honourable Speaker, the minister has said, we plan a visit. Minister, I have been to Luzira as a political prisoner. I was in Luzira. There is a reason why that place is located in that area. Those of you who have not been to prison, and I pray that you find time and be there, but for the good reasons, like I was there, you'll understand that, Right Honourable Speaker, even location of prison is psychological and it also impacts on prisoners. You know what happens in Nakasongola, you know what happens if you are taken in all these facilities that were not supposed or created to provide sufficient prison facilities. Actually, Right Honourable Speaker, those of us who have been to prison, we prefer being in Luzira than elsewhere, even geographically. But Right Honourable Speaker, of fundamental point is the company that is being reported to construct this facility. That company has been blacklisted by the World Bank. Is debt burdened. That company, RVR, is debt burdened, has been blacklisted. And it is the company being fronted to take over that piece of land. How do we, and it has been even a subject of investigation, even locally here. And it is a company being fronted. Right on, Speaker and honorable colleagues, we should not allow land grabbing disguised as an opportunity to expand Luzira. We should not allow that. We should not allow that. If you want to have more hotels, please, where you want to take this facility is where actually you should take the hotel. Because that place also needs development. Take it there, and you also have that place developed. Otherwise, what is happening here is land grabbing disguised in another manner. I thank you.
Thank you. Honorable members, I want to guide the House. Let's discuss on the 3 available options. The 3 available options is no relocation. 2, relocate the prisons at a cost of government. 3, relocate Luzira group of prisons to another site. Unfortunately, at the cost of the investor. Unfortunately, the minister has not told us who the investor is. 2, much as my presumption is by the time somebody goes to prison, the person is not going for luxury. Where you're saying that the land is small, the land needs to be, we need to expand, we need that kind of thing. So it's not about luxury. It's about the land of Uganda, for the people of Uganda, which is in a very strategic location. And who is that investor is the question. A procedure.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. Right Honourable Speaker, is it procedurally right for me to give some additional information on this matter before the next colleague comes to debate, such that we inform?
You have information?
Yes.
Is it documented?
Yes, Right Honourable Speaker, and I'm going to give you a copy.
Honourable members. Honourable members. Yes. You know, one thing is, the information you're giving is a letter from the president. But I want to tell you people, a president does not write a letter from the blues. He is always advised. They go and tell him there is this part of land, there is this kind of thing, there is this. That is how he writes. Because he doesn't know these people. They go lying him.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. Right Honourable Speaker, I am not blaming the President on this matter, Right Honourable Speaker. Right Honourable Speaker, on the 10th of July 2022, His Excellency the President did write to General Kahindo Tafire, the Minister of Internal Affairs, relocation of Luzira prisons and construction of Uganda International Conference Center and a commercial hub. This letter was received on the 18th of July 2022. The above matter refers, I have received a letter from Chang Tang Group that are proposing to redevelop the Luzira prison into a 5-star hotel with a conference center and relocate the prison at their cost to another place in interior on a land identified by the government. I totally support this idea. Therefore, you are directed to do the following. 1, start negotiations with the Tiang Tang group about this program. 2, identify the land in the interior where we relocate the prison anywhere in Uganda. Signed, His Excellency the President Museveni, and copied to the Vice President, the Right Honorable Prime Minister, the Minister of Works and Transport, the Minister of Lands, Housing and Urban Development, the Attorney General Paul Zhang, the Chairman of Tiang Tang Group Limited. Madam Speaker, I am bringing this letter such that you get to know the company and the person behind it. Secondly, Right Honorable Speaker, on the 22nd of February 2024, the Honorable Minister of Internal Affairs did write to the Attorney General, Minister of Justice and Constitutional Affairs, Parliament Avenue, Kampala, invitation to a consultative meeting on the proposed relocation of Luzira prisons. The Tiang Tang group approached His Excellency the President of Uganda with a proposal to redevelop Luzira prison into the ultra-modern city suburb. Further, reference is made to the letter of the President, which I've just read. The Uganda Prisons Service have identified 3.5 square miles in Buikwe, out of which they have agreed to purchase 1 square mile for the said relocation. The family of the late Antonio Lutwama Kabegeta, who owned the land, have unfortunately never applied for letters of administration since the late passed on in 1928. Note that, honorable members. Although they have agreed as a family and the beneficiaries to sell the said square mile to Uganda prisons, in light of the current legal impasse on processing letters of administration from the old Buganda estates, the family lawyers have formed an opinion that they, the beneficiaries, can still sell their interest in the said land to the Uganda Prisons Service for the prison's relocation. The letter, they are saying in this letter here that legal opinion is addressed, which of course we shall ask the minister to produce. The purpose of his letter, therefore, is to invite you and the Administrator General to my office on the 6th of March 2024 at 2 p.m. at the Ministry of Internal Affairs boardroom for a joint meeting to review the said position of the family and whether your office has an objection or proposal to articulate the said presidential directive, signed General Kahindo Tafire, copied to the Administrator General. Right Honorable Speaker, 1, you have seen from this letter, Luzira prison is 260 acres. The letter requesting for land in Luzira is for 1-star hotel and a conference center. Does it need 260 acres? Why don't you give them 2-3 acres? If we are to give 2. Sorry. These are questions I'm posing. Not that that's my proposal. I am posing those questions.
Honorable members. Honorable members. The member is saying, does an investor need 260 acres to build a hotel and put a conference center? That is what he's saying.
That's the question I'm posing. Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, for clarifying. 2, Right Honorable Speaker. Can we have the Attorney General's opinion, Honorable Minister? Can we have the Attorney General's opinion on this matter? That's 2. I know why the reason I'm saying so. 2, the Minister of Lands has objected to this. because this land is contested, because the grandchildren, the great-grandchildren, the great-great-grandchildren are complaining about this land. So, right, Honorable
Which
Speaker,
one?
of this of the late Antonio, who passed away in 1926.
But what was the criteria of getting that land? Why didn't they buy it from Ethel, from another person? So many people have land.
That's why I'm asking that we need that's why I'm saying, Madam Speaker, that we need the Minister of Lands on this matter, their position, because some of us, because we sit in the Committee of Lands, we raise this matter. They made comments on it to us in the committee. So we need that also to be clarified. Finally, as I conclude, right, Honorable Speaker, that we need that Attorney General's opinion on this matter. We had the opinion of Minister of Lands, but there is no way we are going to give out Luzira prison 260 acres for one-star hotel. And then the issue which was raised by Honorable Asuman here, the gentleman here, this Paul, has had so many issues regarding land in Tororo, the issue of the phosphate industry here in Kampala, and others internationally. So, right, Honorable Speaker, we cannot afford to lose. If it was not for Mr. Sudir to save us with his money, it was gone, because the hotel, the group that they had given, these are the same reasons they gave to us in the 7th Parliament about Shimoni. And at the end of it, there was no hotel. They had to look for someone to sell. And that place had been sold at $2 million only. That's how he came in. If he had not to come, we would not have seen that
Thank
place.
you.
We have seen other places. So, right, Honorable Speakers, we are not in support of it. Thank you, right, Honorable Speaker.
Erica.
Thank you so much, Right Honourable Speaker.
Members, you're going to speak.
Thank you so much, Right Honourable Speaker.
But mindful of my 2 hours. You speak.
You have guided very well, Madam Speaker, about the options that we are supposed to take. And I would go with option number 1. Madam Speaker, with given reasons, why do we go for option number 1? We have not been doing very well in land, in government land given to investors, which investors even fail to develop this land. The Luzira prison land is a preserve of government. Why can't we get land elsewhere if we are interested in creating 5-star hotels and other shopping malls? We better get other areas. For example, we have areas that we have given out, like, you know, the Shimoni, the popular Shimoni school, up to now, Naguru land, up to now, we are still asking ourselves what is happening. You have intervened in Lubowa land. I remember the president talked to us and said, we are going to set up a 5-star hotel in this. We are going to put up a first-class hospital. Things are failing out. For Luzira land, let it be a preserve of government, and let us upgrade this prison, and then it be the first class. Why not get land elsewhere and not necessarily in Luzira?
Thank you. Havor, Loy, Juliet. I'm starting from outside.
Thank you very much, Right Honourable Speaker. And I want to thank the Minister
Honourable members, 2 minutes.
for bringing us to speed with this project that is about to come. Right Honourable Speaker, I also want to say that I would rather prefer, on behalf of the people of Pakwach and Uganda, that we go with option 1. And why? Right Honourable Speaker, we have already structures in Luzira. Indeed, there is congestion, and it's not only in Luzira prison. There's congestion in almost all prisons. And we have high courts in almost all regions. We could rather opt to expand other prisons so that other criminals can go and stay there and then report to court. Right Honourable Speaker, tourism is the focus of the NRM government. Even when we bring budgets here, tourism is one of the main focus. And the tourism potentials are all over this country. Right Honourable Speaker, it is time that we focus on tourist cities in this country. And Pakwach offers the best option so far after after Fort Portal. Right Honorable Speaker, we have a mass body of water there, the River Nile and the Albert Nile.
So Jane, you're proposing?
I am proposing that when the investor...
you're proposing that the 5-star hotel must go to those areas.
Yes, Right Honorable Speaker. So that we expand the city and decongest the city and take development outside of Kampala and create opportunities for our farmers, for our traders, for our young people who are graduating from all these government institutions to be employed, and we expand the tax base. It is true we need to attract investors in this country, but why concentrate them here and take over our prime government land, Right Honorable Speaker? The people of Makwacha have told me to tell you and the House today that the time is now to take this investment across there. I thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker, for giving this opportunity. Right Honourable Speaker, I would like to thank the Minister for the statement. And like most of my colleagues, Right Honourable Speaker, I go with option 1. Right Honourable Speaker, relocating this prison automatically means giving out this prime land for free. The Honourable Minister talks about having the dilapidated structures. I just want to inform him that in Uganda, most of the government structures are dilapidated, not only in Uganda, but even our embassies outside. So it's high time government started working on our structures. Right Honourable Speaker, the Minister talks about the Bishop Kangire Secondary School. I come from that side, Right Honourable Speaker, which was set up on 20 acres of land and lots of companies that are there. My question is, did they get this land for free or they bought? 260 acres of land is too huge, Right Honourable Speaker. An acre in Luzira could go for 1 billion shillings. If the worst comes the worst, Right Honourable Speaker, my proposal is they can sell off a few acres and reconstruct the prison in Luzira. Thank you.
Thank you. Juliet, honourable members. Honourable members. Honourable members. I have a vast land. I have vast land which I can even give for free. Where I can even give for free to the investor. Yes, where there is water, near the water, for prisons. I mean for them to put a what? A 5-star. Very prime. I mean tourism. We are looking at that. Yes, Kinyamatama.
Thank you.
Angora.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. I raise to say that I take option number 1 of no relocation and also renovation of Luzira prisons, because that's what is in option 1.
Honourable, as we discuss this, so we are basically giving advice. Because this is an executive directive. And as the minister goes back, the minister will have to report that the advice of Parliament is that they don't believe in giving out the land.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. And I think on our advice as Parliament, we concretize it by voting so that they know that we are going with one voice as Parliament, that there is no relocation of Luzira prisons. Lastly, Right Honourable Speaker, I take this as a scam. This deal you're in is a scam for one reason. This has happened before. We lost Shimon, we lost Naguruland. We have been in this cycle for a long time. And no wonder that's why in the presentation of this information, we do not see the facts of the beginning or the genesis of this deal. Because we see a report being made already on the 25th of March before the whistleblower to this House. So this is a confirmation that this deal has been ongoing, but Ugandans are tired. Ugandans, our eyes are so open, members of Parliament are aware. We are requesting that we now take consideration of Uganda first and then we serve other interests later. So I beg to submit.
Angora.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I want to thank the Minister for responding to this issue You will recall that many people are depicted as information that was circulating in the media. But Madam Speaker, we need to appreciate the statement that has been given by the Minister. Whereas we have a challenge of land that government has kept giving out, and many times we have not seen the expected development on that land. For example, even in Tororo, we have the Dongsong project that was given quite big chunk of land, and we are still waiting for the 5 industries. But world over, we must appreciate that correctional facilities are not in the center. As we speak now, it is my opinion. It is my opinion. Allow me raise my concern. Madam Speaker.
Honorable members, allow the member to finish his statement.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Everyone will have an opportunity to contribute. What I was saying is this. Luzira is slowly but surely being eaten up by urbanization. Slowly but surely. I really wouldn't mind relocation of Luzira. The question would be, the investor who's taking Luzira, are we getting the worth of what you're getting? Speaker, Madam Speaker, I want to buy the idea that the prison be relocated. The land.
Odur, there's a procedure from Odur. By the way, honorable members, the information we are getting is not seeking for permission. We only ask for a clarification. And the clarification we asked for was because of the speculation that was outside there. So we are getting the clarification, and for us we are giving our views that in our own opinion, we think option number 1, option number 2, or option number 3, whichever you feel is okay.
Right, Honorable Speaker, the point of procedure I'm raising is regards how we are proceeding.
Honorable members,
And
can I have silence?
Regards how we are proceeding and how this House will take a decision on the options that you have raised. If there was a motion, at the end of the motion, a question would be put and the decision would be carried. Now, how will this House process the 3 options? My fear is that we are falling into the trap of the executive. If the minister wanted that, he would have brought a substantive motion with a definite result that this House could take a decision on. So, Madam Speaker, I beg your indulgence that we don't legitimize what I can read already from the mood of the House, a deliberate attempt by the executive to abuse the trust of Ugandans who gave them authority to hold land on behalf. That land belongs to me, belongs to all Ugandans. So by now massaging the options, we might be indirectly falling and giving them a blessing. I therefore beg your indulgence.
Exactly.
I therefore beg your indulgence that you guide the House so that whatever we discuss here do not appear to fall into that trap.
You are bringing emotion or not? Honorable members, on the procedure matter that Honorable Dura has raised, and as I said, this is an executive order. And the way we are getting derailed, there are people who are saying we should have prisons in the middle of the town, in the city, so that you don't have to go very far for you to go to court. There are others who are saying you should take them to Bukedea, to wherever. And we are playing in the hands of these letters, on these letters. We would rather have a motion in this house. We would rather have a motion in this house and say, since the land of Uganda belongs to the people of Uganda, it is in our considered opinion that the land that is being occupied by Uganda prisons remains the property of Uganda prisons. Okay? So you now get the options from what the minister has given. Now that will come in the what? In the motion. And this house will vote to that motion. Okay? Next item.
Item 3.3, statement by Minister on concerns raised by the Leader of the Opposition in Parliament on the appointment of Assistant Resident District Commissioners.
Right Honorable Speaker.
Honorable members. Honorable members.
Right
Honorable members. Can we have some silence? Can we have some silence, Minister, maybe before you bring your report? In the public gala this afternoon, we have a delegation of all the LOC 3 persons of Busoga sub-region from the districts of Bugweri, Bugiri, Luka, Viende, Iganga, Namaingo, Mayuge, Namutumba, Jinja, Kamuli, Kaliro, and they are here. They are represented by the members of Parliament of Busoga, headed by the chairperson of Busoga Parliamentary Group. All the Busoga, you stand up. Can you just stand up and we see you? Please stand up and we see you. Join me in welcoming them. And we want to welcome you to Parliament of Uganda. This is your parliament. They are here for a 2-day training on capacity building of local leaders and on the role of members of parliament. By the time the councillors go back, they will have known a role of a member of parliament. Not being an ambulance, not doing burials. Not so you're most welcome. Thank you so much for coming. Okay. There's a procedure matter from Buzaya, from on what?
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. Right. Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker.
Right Honourable Speaker.
Are you? Okay, you'll come after him.
Thank you so much.
Then we'll end with the law.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. Right Honourable Speaker, we want to thank you on behalf of the people of Busoga for inviting our leaders, the chairperson LC3s, and giving them civic education. Right Honourable Speaker, if this continues in this country, we shall be able to educate our leaders and we shall be able to benefit from our leaders. Honourable colleagues, please join us to thank the Right Honourable Speaker for giving the best to our leaders. Right Honourable Speaker, as Busoga, we are proud of you. We want to thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. Right Honourable Speaker, I need to add my voice to the voice of Honourable Mzale. And we are grateful as the members of Parliament from Busoga. Right Honourable Speaker, this government recognizes the cultural institutions. And the whole leadership of Busoga is here. All the chairpersons are here. That means the whole region of Busoga is here. When the whole region of Busoga is here, Right Honourable Speaker, the Chabazinga is here. To respect that, Right Honourable Speaker.
The Chabazinga and Inebantu.
And Inebantu. So, Right Honourable Speaker, in the same spirit, we need to seek your indulgence through your office. You allow us, since the whole region is here and the Chabazinga is here, to sing one stanza of the Busoga anthem. To sing one stanza of the Busoga anthem to recognize the presence of the Chabazinga. Thank you.
Honourable members, let's go to the next item so that Lop, you have something.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. Right Honourable Speaker, I want to appreciate that you've given us space to move a motion next week. But in 1 or 2 minutes, just a quick response to the statement that has been tabled, Right Honourable Speaker, as we shape this, at least from our end. Right Honourable Speaker, in 2006, I joined the media at UBC. And shortly after I joined, we were relocated from Nakasero to go to Nile Avenue. Why? Because government, with an investor, wanted to put up a Chogam hotel, which was meant to be for 2007. We moved, Chogam came and went, and that did not happen. Right Honourable Speaker, there's been many examples given of land that has been given away, and that's the concern of members. Shimoni, Naguru Nakawa land, and so on and so forth. Government, what the members here are saying is, we need to work on the question of trust. There's an old English adage that once bitten, twice shy. So members are saying, on behalf of the people that we represent, we have seen land being given away for these developments, and the developments do not happen. And so there is lack of trust. That's the biggest issue here. And so when you don't have trust, then the people, even when you have a good idea, they will not buy into it because they're thinking this will end up the same fate as all of these other pieces of land.
Yes,
right.
As I ruled, you'll bring that in the motion. Please bring it in the motion.
That's okay.
Because it goes against our rules of procedure, especially after a ruling has been done, but your point has been gotten. Your point has been gotten, and include it in the motion. Switch on.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. I just thought, because you see, my duty, our duty on this end, as we keep government in check, it is also to help you deal with the trust issue. And as we shape all of this, that's what must be dealt with. Right Honourable Speaker, with your permission, the Shadow Internal Affairs Minister had a 30-second information. If you would kindly allow her, 30 seconds.
Sure. The shadow will put it in the motion. Next item.
Item 3.3, statement by Minister on concerns raised by the Leader of the Opposition on the appointment of Assistant Resident District Commissioners.
Honourable members, during yesterday's sitting, the Leader of Opposition raised a concern on the appointment of Assistant RDCs at a time when government is moving to reduce the government expenditure through rationalization. However, you must be aware and you must recall that in the budget process of 2023-2024, we budgeted for that money. Now, when we budgeted for that money, what we need to know from this house is the process that is being followed, whether the right process is being followed, whether what we budgeted for and approved and appropriated is exactly what is being given. And then the other aspect would be, are you employing qualified people? To that effect. The third one would be, when you're employing them, today I got a complaint from one of the members that somebody who had stood with her for 3 times has been appointed as assistant RDC and deployed in the same area, and that's not good for our members. So can we, pursuant to Rule 52(1) of Rules of Procedure, can we now invite the Minister of Kampala to provide information to that effect?
Thank you very much, Right Honourable Speaker. Right Honourable Speaker, I'm here on behalf of Honourable Mire Babalanda.
The problem, you're not listening.
Who is not here with us, but has delegated me here to represent her. In response to the concern raised by the Right Honourable Leader of Opposition on the appointment of Assistant RDCs. Right Honourable Speaker and Honourable colleagues, in response to the matter raised by Honourable Leader of Opposition in regard to the appointment of the Assistant RDCs stroke RCCs in the House yesterday, I would like to respond as follows. Right Honourable Speaker and Honourable members, RDCs are appointed by His Excellency the President of the Republic of Uganda under Article 203 of the Constitution, and their functions are stipulated herein. Right Honourable Speaker, Section 72(1) of the Local Government Act as amended mandates the President to appoint a number of deputy or assistant district resident commissioners in a district as he or she may deem necessary. In the financial year 2023-2024, Parliament of Uganda appropriated money, salary for RDCs, deputy RDCs, and assistant RDCs. This information is provided for under the Ministry of Public Service schedule, salary structure for political leaders for the financial year 2023-2024. On the matter of posting of the newly appointed assistant RDCs, I noted the concerns of the Right Honourable Speaker and the House, and there shall be drawn to the attention of the appointing authority on the case-by-case basis. I beg to submit.
Honourable members, Honorable members, the appointment of other resident district commissioners is in Article 203 of the Constitution of the Republic of Uganda. There shall be for each district a resident district commissioner who shall be appointed by the President. 2, for a person to be appointed as a resident district commissioner, he or she shall be a citizen of Uganda and qualified to be a member of Parliament. That is 1, qualified to be a member of Parliament. 2, the function of the resident district commissioners are to monitor and implement an implementation of the central and local government services in the district. 2, to act as chairpersons of the district statutory committee of the district. And 3, Ajat, I want you to listen to 3. To carry out such functions as may be assigned by the President or prescribed by Parliament by law. Prescribed by Parliament by law. That is, take note of that. 1, Hajat, we want a list of all the RDCs of this country, the list of all the deputies, a list of all the assistant RDCs. Now don't guide me on what to say. 2, we need the qualifications of all these RDCs, deputies, and assistants. 3, we need a due diligence on these RDCs. After you bring that and lay on table, we'll refer it to the Committee of Presidential Affairs, and most importantly, the regional balance, the equity. We need the equity, the regional balance, and I'll give you, we will give you, you have something to say before I conclude? This is not for debate. I've given instructions.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker.
Right Honourable.
Right Honourable Speaker, when I raised this issue yesterday, there were 2 critical issues that I raised that unfortunately have not been captured by the Minister's statement. 1, I was saying, in the spirit of rationalization, which government has tabled before this House to say, let's cut down on government expenditure, how does this make sense? The Minister has not addressed that, because we have got 147 substantive RDCs on whom we spend over 4 billion shillings. 163 deputy RDCs on whom we spend over 2.5 billion shillings per year. You're bringing in assistant RDCs on whom you're going to spend over 2.88 billion per year, and that's just salary, by the way. Leave alone allowances, the cars that have to be bought, and so on. And so wanted the Minister to help this House understand, how do you tell us about rationalization, and yet you are bringing all of this as well?
Honourable Lob, now that I've referred it to the committee should be able to come out with all the questions that you raised. And you'll even put it in writing to the committee, the issues that you need to understand with this recruitment.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. I just wanted to, and I think that can happen, I just wanted to give some feedback to the Minister that the statement she has presented actually is not what we did ask for. Maybe if she's saying she's going to present a better statement to the committee, because this is completely different from the issues that we raised, Madam Minister. Completely different. And yet we need answers.
She will appear before the committee. Thank you. Next item. Yes.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker and members. In the Constitution, Article 203 talks about the qualifications, the duties and responsibilities. But there is one that has come into the public domain, where one of the RDCs, Chisacha Maria, the assistant RDC, Chisacha Mukama, is seen showing his butt to the general public, and you want us to wait for qualifications for that? Is the president demeaning this country?
Honorable Sechi.
Is the president demeaning this country?
Sechi.
Yes, right.
Sechi. Sech. Sodo. Now, Sech, that was number one issue I asked: the qualification, the character, the behavior of a person. And yesterday, that issue was raised on the same name. And we are going to investigate. So don't worry. That will be handled.
I think since we go to investigate, Right Honourable Speaker, that name must be withdrawn. His appointment must be withdrawn before we even go any further.
We'll do it after getting the report. Honourable, before I move to the next item, Honourable members, you'll allow me in the middle to redesignate a member, 2 members.
Designation of members to standing committees.
You came late. We are doing this administratively. No harm, nothing.
Right Honourable Speaker, pursuant to Rule 158 and Rule 15, Section 10, Subsection C of our Rules of Procedure, I beg to designate on behalf of the Right Honourable Speaker the following members of Parliament, the respective standing committees. Honourable Ndiomujenyi Roland, from the Committee of Park Central to the Committee on Equal Opportunities. Honourable Chinyamatama Subi Juliet, from the Committee on Climate Change to COSASE. I beg to...
Those in favor say on the contrary, nay? Ayes have it. Next item.
Laying of papers. Report of the meeting session of the United Nations Climate Change Conference of the Conference of State Parties, COP28.
Honourable members, pursuant to Rule 31 of the Rules of Procedure, I now invite Honourable Christine to table a report on COP28 conference. Honourable member.
Right Honourable Speaker.
Honourable members, don't go, we have bills.
Right Honourable Speaker, thank you for the opportunity. Dear members.
No, the bills we have are very few, only 2. I am only left with 30 minutes, we shall have finished. Christine, lay your document.
Right Honourable Speaker, I hereby lay a report for the meeting session of the United Nations Climate Change Conference of the 28th Conference of Parties, summarized as COP28, the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, that took place in Dubai, United Arab Emirates, on 24th November to 12th December 2023. I beg to lay.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Next. It will be deposited in the canteen.
Library.
And I mean in the library. It's because I've not had lunch. Yes. Next
Thank
item.
you. Thank you very much, Right Honourable Speaker. Right Honourable Speaker.
Patrick, we need a report from PAP.
Madam
on
Speaker.
the election of PAP.
Madam Speaker, the leader of delegation, I think, will play that role very well. Thank you very much. Right Honourable Speaker, our rules of procedure provides that for such international engagements, when a report is provided, submitted here, the person submitting them should give us highlights of the event or the conference for us as Parliament to know what are the key highlights of that conference. So, Madam Speaker, I'm wondering whether proceeding well for her just to lay and we do nothing about it. Thank you.
That's a good idea. But that's why I said we are taking it to the library. The problem we have with our people, they don't even want to visit the library. Go and take time and read these things. They don't like reading. Now the teachers said you don't like reading. Yes. But it doesn't cost us. Listen, it doesn't cost us much for Christine to give us just a preamble. Doesn't cost much. And she's a brilliant lady.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker, for the opportunity and fast-tracking climate change management within Uganda. Right Honourable Speaker, every year, Uganda joins other countries in participating in negotiations concerning climate change. And last year, it was the Conference of Parties, the 28th conference. Right Honourable Speaker, as Uganda, we are party to what we call the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, but we are also a party to some other conventions, including Kyoto Protocol and the Paris Agreement. And in our Climate Change Act, Right Honourable Speaker, we wanted to fast track and domesticate some of those protocols locally. And being a party to those international conventions, we are also supposed to take part in the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change conferences. Right Honourable Speaker, the conference has a number of negotiation groups, including the adaptation, capacity building. There is another group called mitigation. There is another group on technology. There is another group on gender. And as we attend those meetings, we decide the negotiation issues to follow up. Right Honourable Speaker, as a Member of Parliament, together with the other members of Parliament selected from the different committees, we attended, and members chose their negotiation groups, and we came up with recommendations. The best recommendations included fast-tracking loss and damage. Right Honourable Speaker, as Uganda, we are suffering from climate change effects as a result of G77 and China actions. And we are saying that as Uganda, much as we want to adapt to climate change, but we need extra effort. And together with the line ministries, including the Ministry of Finance, we requested that at least, given the fact that they are demanding us a lot of money through the loans we have with them, it can also be channeled that they offset the loans and also channel part of some of the finances to adaptation to climate change options. So the issue of loss and damage is very important. But as Uganda, we also need to be ready. We need to prepare our readiness plans to utilize the funds that will come through the different climate change baskets as were informed. Right Honorable Speaker, based on Uganda's position, the policies that Uganda has are enormous, and we score highly when it comes to presentation of legal instruments. And some of these instruments, many countries pledge to come and learn from us.
Shall you summarize?
So, Right Honorable Speaker, we are grateful that you gave us chance. And there are a number of actions that Parliament need to follow up with, especially in ensuring that climate change management comes up front. And the basic request was to follow up with the establishment of Climate Change Act regulations to ensure that we also help our minister and relevant institutions in fast-tracking climate change management in Uganda. Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker.
Thank you so much. Honourable Dula has been negotiating once a debate on this. But when you look at Rule 33, it says the Speaker shall appoint time not exceeding 45 minutes for a debate. But we can, it's not entrenched. You have a bill that you need it more than this debate. So let's first finish the bill. Next item.
Bill second reading.
Yes.
The Public Enterprises Reform and Divestiture Amendment Bill 2024.
Honourable Minister.
Right Honourable Speaker, on behalf of the Minister of Finance, Planning and Economic Development, who gave you notice of their absence in the House, all of them at the Ministry today, I beg to move that the bill entitled the Public Enterprises Reform and Divestiture Amendment Bill 2024 be read the second time.
Is the motion seconded? Seconded by Edie, by Mamawi, by Chemogesi, by Mitiana, by Honorable Rachel, Honorable Professor Ethel, Iganga, Nakasongola, Kelly, Gerald, Margaret, Veronica, Hanifa, Gweri, Christine, Solo, Honorable Minister of Information, ICT, Honorable Minister of Agriculture, Honorable Minister of Energy, Honorable Minister Bueno Agriculture, Honorable Minister of Local Government, Singiro, even the chair is Seno, Loy, Linda, Victoria, Dakasi, Pamela, Mama Busia, Chemutai, East Africa, David, Aroga, and Luca. Thank you so much. Would you want to speak a little bit of your bill? Yes?
Right Honourable Speaker, you had allowed, with a few exceptions, for line ministers to be, you had given your permission here and there for the ministers to absent themselves when matters in their dockets are being discussed on this floor. But Right Honourable Speaker, I'm seeing it is becoming a trend. It is becoming a trend, and very bad one. Right Honourable Speaker, with the Minister himself, Matia Kasaija, you have the Honourable Anita Anite, I beg your pardon, Anite, the minister in charge of investment. You have Honorable Kasolo. You have Honorable Golobi. You have Honorable Musasizi. But conveniently, they can't be present to process their bill, Right Honorable Speaker. They are not taking this parliament seriously. You can't have all the 5 away and the Honorable Minister, the government chief whip here, who does not sit in their top management, in their senior management, who is not accountable to any of their daily activities, is here. Now, Right Honorable Speaker, I beg that you sometimes get hard, because this parliament, we come, we leave everything we are doing to attend to the business of this house. And when ministers take it as a practice to disregard this house, to choose to be away because they know they will talk to you and you grant them permission. Right, Honorable Speaker, I beg that you take note of that and you come down heavy so that this does not continue in this house.
Search, maybe just for information, the issue of the strike of the traders is a very serious issue that concerns this whole country. And as we speak now, personally, I was also not supposed to be here. I was supposed to join that meeting at State House with the traders, and that's where all the ministers of finance have been summoned, because they know we are going to start on the tax bills. They don't want us to pass bills that affect traders. So it is not a deliberate move that they are not here. You know, a person like Honorable Musa Asisi, he's always here 24/7. So I gave them permission based on that, because it is on the issue of what? On the traders. But also when you look at Rule 114, attendance of sittings by minister, where none of them is able to attend, a minister shall request another minister to represent that minister's interest. So because they are not able to attend, and they have accordingly reported to the speaker, and I allowed it, sir. My SH. Yes, you have something. Thank you. Continue. Avoru, did you speak to your motion? Please speak to your motion.
Right Honorable Speaker,
you see, because the team is here, you want them to see you. Okay.
Thank you very much, and I welcome them, especially those from Budgetary. I am here. Right Honorable Speaker, the issue being raised by Honorable Sechikubo and the rule you have cited, let's accept. But Right Speaker, when you look at the front bench, there are critical offices that sometimes affect the outcome of these deliberations. For example, the office of the Attorney General. When you look around, the 2 of them are not here. Right Speaker, when these bills are challenged in courts, it is that office that is responsible for representing us. And sometimes they have even a habit of disowning us. And Right Honorable Speaker, you have a method of asking them to comment on every clause, which is really very good. So whereas it is true that a minister can ask another to represent them, where you have critical positions like Attorney General, Right Honorable Speaker, I would humbly beseech you to ensure that at least that office, one of them is represented here.
We'll do that. Yes, Additionally. Okay, let's first start with the motion which has a minister, as you rethink.
Bill second reading. The Uganda Road Fund Amendment Bill 2024.
Honorable Minister.
Right Honorable Speaker, I beg to move that the bill entitled the Uganda Road Fund Amendment Bill 2024, Uganda Road Fund Amendment Bill, Repeal Bill 2024, be read for the second time.
Seconded. Seconded by search. By Honorable Lwelo, Honorable Bueno, Honorable Kasai, Honorable Businje, by Honorable Moses Kabusu, Honorable Gerald, Honorable Dennis Nakasongola, Honorable Sauda, Honorable Mujiche, Honorable Minister of ICT, Honorable ED, NFA, Jennifer, Singiro, I mean, not Singiro, Ntungamo, Singiro, Honorable Feta, Victoria, Edakas, Mamai, the two Mamais. Honorable Seno Anthony, Dr. Boka, East Africa, Gulu, Phyllis, Daudi. Opendi is supported. Honorable Angura, Honorable Pamela, Honorable Busia, and Mitiana. General, would you love to speak to your motion?
Right Honorable Speaker, the bill talks of repealing the Uganda Road Fund Act. I would want to say this straightforward, that the bill is not intended to remove the fund. That's not the intention of the bill. The bill is intended to remedy the following: to enable the dissolution of Uganda Road Fund and the transfer of the administration, because that's what is all happening. Uganda Road Fund is just like a conduit. The money comes from Ministry of Finance, and they just click the money to the districts. So it does not generate money. It does not, it's just like an office, but now it is a full office with a board, with a full administration. So it is administratively heavy for no good reason, because clicking money to go to a district doesn't even require a board. So the intention is to transfer the administration of the fund, not to remove the fund, to transfer its administration to the ministry responsible for roads, thereby, interior, relieving the government of the financial drain on its resources and the burden of wasteful administrative expenditure. This would facilitate efficient and effective service delivery by delineating mandates and functions of the ministry responsible for roads. It will also promote coordinated administration arrangements, policies, and procedures, ensuring the efficient, successful management of financial accounting and budgetary discipline. So this will enable government to play its role properly and more effectively, and to enforce accountability. It will also help to restructure and reorganize the ministry responsible for roads and other agencies and departments of government by eliminating these bloated structures which I talked about even yesterday and function ambiguities in the performance and functions related to the fund. I submit.
Thank you. Thank you so much. A report of the chair, brief one. Just summarize, Honorable.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, for giving me this opportunity to present the report of the Committee of Physical Infrastructure on the Uganda Road Fund Amendment Bill 2024. Introduction. Right Honorable Speaker, the Uganda Road Fund Amendment Bill 2024 was read for the first time on Tuesday, 9th April 2024 and referred to the Committee on Physical Infrastructure in accordance with Rules 128 and 129 of the Rules of Procedure of the Parliament for consideration and to report to the House. Background. Right Honorable Speaker, the Road Management Initiative, which was started in 1989 as a road maintenance initiative driven by the World Bank and Economic Commission for Africa. The initiative perceived road maintenance to be the most important aspect of road sector management for the sub-Saharan countries, and within that aspect, stability of financing was perceived as the core problem. Right Honorable Speaker, the Road Maintenance Initiative later changed to Road Management Initiative in 1997 in recognition of the fact that stable financing, though necessary, is not a sufficient condition for proper maintenance of the road network, but planning, implementation, and monitoring were equally important to ensure that the road network offers the right level of service to meet the country's roads needs. In essence, Right Honorable Speaker, the Road Fund or the Road Authority study was conducted in 1993 with financial assistance from the GTZ, and later in 2001 with financial assistance from the World Bank. These studies came up with the recommendations to the government on how to set up the Uganda Road Fund in order to effect substantial improvement in the management of the road sector. Right Honorable Speaker, the ultimate goal of the road sector reforms implemented in Uganda based on the Road Maintenance Initiative and the private sector review was to separate the ministry's role of policy formulation, legislation, setting standards, regulation, and monitoring from implementation. The separation of roles was in line with the universal norms, but it was important that Uganda Road Fund be given full authority to discharge its mandate. Right Honorable Speaker, in regards to the creation of the Uganda Road Fund was established by an Act of Parliament in 2008 to operate as a second-generation fund with the objective of financing routine and periodic maintenance of public roads in Uganda from mainly reserved and user charges. Uganda Road Fund, Right Honorable Speaker, became operational on 1st November 2009. Its main mandate is to finance the routine and periodic maintenance of public roads. It was designed by the Uganda Road Fund Act 2008 as a second-generation fund. This means it has ring-fenced road user charges, in bracket fuel levies, international transit fees, road lances fees, axle load, fines, bridge tolls, road tolls, and weight distance charges, and other money stipulated under Section 21 of the Uganda Road Fund Act 2008. Another important aspect of the second generation fund is that the finances of the Uganda Road Fund are managed by a board and secretariat. Right Honorable Speaker, despite the above provisions of the Uganda Road Fund Act 2008, the Uganda Road Fund has never attained the status of a second generation since its creation in 2009. All finances of Uganda Road Fund are collected by the Uganda Revenue Authority and mingled into the consolidation fund, or into the consolidated fund. Uganda Road Fund is allocated annual budgets and receives quarterly releases of funds like any other government, ministry, department, and agency. Right Honorable Speaker, the fund has a duty to finance the implementation of the annual road maintenance program that are carried out by the Uganda National Roads Authority and by the Kampala Capital City Authority and other designated agencies responsible for district, urban, and community access roads. Right Honorable Speaker, by aspiring to ensure a stable, adequate, and timely flow of funds to agencies, the Uganda Road Fund provides the opportunity for the implementing agencies to plan for efficiency and effective delivery of maintenance of their respective categories of roads. Right Honorable Speaker, the object of the fund, according to Section 6 of the Uganda Road Fund Act 2008, the object of the fund is, number one, to finance the routine and periodic maintenance of public roads in Uganda. Number two, to ensure that public roads are maintained at all times. And three, Right Honorable Speaker, is to advise the minister responsible for finance in consultation with the minister responsible for roads and the minister responsible for local governments on these two issues. Number one, the preparation and efficient and effective implementation of the annual road maintenance program and the control of overloading of vehicles in public roads. Right Honorable Speaker, the object of the bill, the main objective of the bill is to give effect to the government policy for rationalization of government agencies and public expenditure adopted by the Cabinet on the 22nd of February 2021 and contained in Cabinet Minute number 43, C2 2021.
Procedure matter.
Madam Speaker, given the time constraint and given that some of these issues are similar throughout, maybe could we, would it be procedure right, we got to know the observations of the committee?
Observation and
then the
recommendations.
Thank you.
Yes.
Much obliged, Right Honorable Speaker. Committee observations and recommendations. The committee observed that the full operationalization of the road fund, number one, the committee observed that as a result of failure to operate the Uganda Road Fund as a second generation fund, the budget allocation for maintenance has remained at a level of between 30 to 40% of the realistic budget requirement. The size of the public roads network in fair to good condition has kept reducing over the years, and the maintenance backlog has kept growing. Further, Right Honorable Speaker, the committee noted that the Uganda Road Fund is the least funded in the sub-Saharan region as shown in the table below. Number one,